Let's see how this plays out in Python. We'll use our same sprinkler example with 3 sprinklers. And we'll set up 2 objects. Our first will be sprinkler encoding, which will represent the current state of all the sprinklers. And our second object will be the number of sprinklers that we have in our system, which we'll say is 3. We need to create a function that will turn a sprinkler on for us. So let's call that turn on. It needs to know which sprinkler we want to turn on, so it'll take a single parameter called sprinkler number. In that function, we're going to affect this variable sprinkler encoding. We're going to use global variables here because we're just playing around. In our actual implementation, we'll be using a class, so we can actually use the instance variables, which is totally fine. But we want to pull in sprinkler encoding as a global variable so we can affect it inside the class. And what we want to do is take the original sprinkler encoding, 0, meaning that all the sprinklers were off, and we want to OR that with the sprinkler that we want to turn on. So sprinkler 0 would be our first sprinkler. Sprinkler 0 would be represented in the 1's place. Sprinkler 1 would be represented in the 2's place. And remember, we're talking about binary numbers, so each place value is 2 to the some number. We're going to OR this with 2 to the power of sprinkler number. So that sprinkler 0 would get 2 to the power of 0, which is the 1's place. Sprinkler 1 would get 2 to the power of 1, which is the 2's place, etc. Now we want to take the result of that OR operation and save it back into sprinkler encoding. Let's do some order of operations. It would work without that, but just to be safe. Now if we want to turn on sprinkler number 1, we just have to say turn on 1. We look at the value of our sprinkler encoding, and now it has a value of 2. We can look at the binary value of sprinkler encoding, which will be a little more intuitive. It shows us that the first sprinkler is off, the second sprinkler is on. We don't have any information about the third sprinkler. It doesn't show up here. And that turns out to mean that it's off as well. It would show up if it were a 1. So let's turn sprinkler 2 on as well. We'll look at that binary value again. Now we see sprinkler 0 is off, sprinkler 1 is on, sprinkler 2 is on. Now we'd like to create a function that will tell us if all of our sprinklers are on. So we'll call it all sprinklers on. It's not going to take any arguments. And this will be a Boolean function, and it will return true if all of our sprinklers are on, or false if they're not all on. And we'll just do a comparison from sprinkler encoding. We don't need to bring it in as a global because we're not going to modify it. So our number that represents all place values on would be 2 to the num sprinkler minus 1. So we can ask the question now, are all sprinklers on? And the answer is false. We'll look again at our sprinkler encoding. We have 110, so sprinkler number 0 is turned off. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And we'll check again, are all sprinklers on? And the answer is true, they're all on. If we want to turn them all off, we just set sprinkler encoding equal to 0. We'll check again, and now all sprinklers are not on. If we check the binary encoding now, it's just 0.